2 more of these to do. One.
It's okay to talk, isn't it? Easy. Slowly.
My name is Caitlin Singleton. Today is November 20th, 2017. How many of you have been put on a waiting list? Waiting lists can be used for many things, whether you're waiting to be seated for dinner or whether you're waiting to be admitted into a program for college. But what if you were put in the position to have to wait for something vital to your health? Something that you can't live without. Something like your organs. I'm sure everyone in this room can relate to having to experience a time where you've been put on a waiting list. But have you or a close family member ever been put on a waiting list to receive an organ? You or someone you're close to could be put on the organ donation list at some point in your life. Imagine yourself or a close family member having to be put on a waiting list to receive a life-saving organ. Today I want to talk to you about what organ donation is and the need for organ donors, how to become an organ donor, and lastly, how this impacts people's lives. I'll start by talking about what organ donation is. As said on Wikipedia, organ donation is when a person allows an organ of theirs to be removed legally, either by consent while the donor is alive or after death with the assent of the next of kin. Just one organ donor can save up to 8 people's lives. Stated on the website liveonny.org, there are more than 120,000 people in the United States that are waiting for an organ transplant. This includes hearts, kidneys, pancreas, lungs, livers, and intestines. The website also states that on average, 18 people die every day while waiting for organ transplants in the U.S. Every 10 minutes, another name is added to this list, and each year the list continues to grow. You can choose to ignore that there is a need for organ donors in our country, or we can do something about it by becoming organ donors ourselves. I believe that even if just one of us become organ donors today, that it will make an impact on someone else's life. This is not a problem that we have just recently discovered. As stated on organdonor.gov, the organ shortage continues each year. Each year, the number of people on the waiting list continues to be much larger than both the number of organs and transplants, which grows slowly. Organdonor.gov continues to state nearly 2 out of 3 of these people on the transplant list are over the age of 50, and almost 2,000 children under the age of 18 are also on this list. It is very tragic for anyone to experience a need for an organ, but anyone at any point in their lives can be put into this position. The website organdonor.gov gives a visual representation using a pie chart to show the organs that people are waiting for as of July 2017. At the top of this list, with 82.9%, is the need for kidneys. 13.3% are waiting for a liver, 3.4% are waiting for a heart, and 1.2% are waiting for lungs, and 2.5% are waiting for other. Now let's talk about how to become an organ donor. The need for organ donation has never been greater. According to liveonny.org, each year thousands of people die while waiting for an organ transplant because no suitable donor can be found for them. But we can help. Becoming an organ donor is easy. After you've decided that you'd like to become an organ donor, there are a few steps that you need to take. You need to register with your state's online organ donor registry, and also by selecting yes when you apply for your driver's license, and if available, sign a donor card. As stated on dmv.org, after registering, notify your family and loved ones of your donor status. Your family members may be contacted to provide consent in the event of an incident. The need for organ donors increases every year. Why not give someone a second chance by giving them the gift of life? I want anyone who is capable of registering to be an organ donor to do so. I ask that you educate yourselves and your families about organ donors and organ donation. Now let's talk about how this affects people's lives. We cannot change the increasing number of those in need for an organ donation, but we can help by becoming organ donors ourselves. As stated earlier, if just one person today becomes an organ donor, you can potentially save up to 8 people's lives. If we don't act now, the statistics will only increase as our population grows each year. By signing up to be an organ donor now, we can potentially give others the gift of life. Today I have discussed with you what organ donation is and the increasing number of those in need for this life-saving procedure. I also discussed how to become an organ donor and how you could potentially save up to 8 people's lives by doing so. Let's all take a moment and think, what if it was one of your close family members in need of an organ? What if it was you in need of an organ? I think that we can all agree that becoming an organ donor can have a huge impact on another person's life. So let's give someone a second chance at life.
Mm-hmm.